So today I finally got around to review Jahat's latest album, Defecation Syncope, and it's an album that's been out for a while because it got released in September last year. I just got around to review it though, so here's my thoughts. Um, Jahat is a relatively new band, but their members have been in various Dutch bands before, and you notice that because it has a really professional sound and the songwriting is really professional as well. It's just a well produced, well executed album. They say their music is hardcore. I say it has a lot of new metal influences as well. It's like that 90s new metal vibe, but elevated to like match the current scene. And a lot of their vocal harmonies in the chorus parts really reminded me of Linkin Park, and some of their music kind of reminded me of Prong as well. The album starts with the owl and the nightingale, and it's opening with like a really groovy guitar and bass line, and then the gritty vocals follow, and the riffs feel very familiar, but they're still unique enough to make them really interesting. The breakdown halfway through the song came just at the right time, as good songwriting dictates, and it's followed by a guitar solo, and of course in the end the double tempo chorus. It's just very well thought out, and it really works well. Second track, Voices, it started out with another groovy riff and an electronic synth line. It kind of reminded me of Ghostbuster a little bit. And the vocals kind of reminded me of Prong, especially the song Remove Separate Self, because it kind of had the same vibe. Not really, though. It has important lyrics, though. It's about mental illness, and that's another thing to note about Jahat. Most of their tracks, or actually each of their tracks, conveys a very powerful message. Some about mental illness, some about the current state of the world. Yeah, and they're not being preachy about it, so it's conveying a good message, um, and that's just it. In God We Trust, gonna be a crowd pleaser live, I'd say. Has enough headbangable parts, and there is a lot of space to scream along in God We Trust, so I guess that will be fun to watch live. Antenna Haven, one of the tracks that's more up tempo. Synth lines add an eerie vibe to this track during the verse, and it also ends with an electronic ending that leaves you in like an anxious, dreamlike state. That's quickly broken again when the album dives into Four Walls. Four Walls is probably the most emotional song, and it's about mental illness again, about the internal struggle, and the ending of the song is just amazing. So if you're just gonna listen to one track of this album, go listen to that. Or Surrounded by Vultures, which is my personal favorite of this album. It starts as a high tempo song right away. It's a mosh pit song for sure. It's heavy, it's fun, it's just a good time. And of course, Jahat didn't deprive us of vocal harmonies, and the chorus is again layered with multiple layers. Then the final song I'm going to discuss is Emissary. It's a nice change of pace again, more synth lines. It's more on the lower end, and it's just a solid track with a classic chorus. One point of criticism for the whole album, though, especially during the higher melodies of the gritty vocals, it feels like it's a bit edited too much, which makes them feel a bit thin. And I imagine them being better on stage, actually. Besides that one point of criticism, though, there's a lot to love about this album. I already mentioned the songwriting. The tracks flow really well, even though most of them don't follow the standard rock metal script. However, the most impressive part about Jahat's style has to be the heavy use of multiple vocal lines. All the choruses have at least double vocal lines, if not more. And the variation of gritty, clean, and rap-like vocals is another thing that I really like about this band. So go check them out. Their album is on Spotify. You can find a couple of their songs on YouTube as well. Let me know what you think. Or Surrounded by Vultures.